This video goes a little bit with my background. Where is the train of SUP gonna go? And for that, I have Kristin Thomas, race organizer, SUP USA founder or co-founder, and long-time racer and person that is involved in our sport. Kristin was race director at the legendary Bolonton ICF World Championships. That is most likely the best SUP race that the world has seen so far and the best organized. And I think she gets to take some credit for that. We just sat down for a good hour, Kristin, right?
Over an hour.
Over an hour, and we talked about everything.
We both like to talk. I love to find someone who wants to talk about the big picture of stand-up paddle racing.
The big picture, yes.
It is a big picture. The big picture. And it's a messy picture. I think we agree with that.
It is a messy picture, and that's, we were talking about what can we do to give this a little bit a structure to the sport, and particularly in the US, and since we are with SUP USA here, give a good structure to the sport that gives a path forward to ambitious paddlers who want to become a somebody in the sport. And here's an open mic.
How do we summarize all the good stuff that we talked about?
I know.
I will say, you said something on the phone yesterday when we were setting this up about how long are we going to call it a young sport? So I am not going to call it a young sport anymore. We've been around for a while.
Yes.
So it really feels like it's time to get ourselves organized.
Yeah, our sport is at least a teenager by now, and needs to start to grow up and get a structured life. No more messy room. So put your socks in the drawer.
I am involved with a number of organizations, and that complication of the top level ISA, ICF we talked a lot about does really splinter our sport and is hard for people to understand and to make it organized. But youth is probably one of the most important things. Youth development, youth coaching. If we don't get people in at the early level, we can't have that whole path. And then, as you said, organizing races, and how do we have the festivals, and how do we have series, and how do people know where to go? When you're young and you have aspirations, where you need to see that path. I think you said that, and I love that. So how do we pull it all together?
And you founded USA SUP
with some others,
with other people, and tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I mean, growth is always essential, as we just talked about with youth, but also just organizing and connecting. I mean, we have a wonderful community and wonderful sport, and I know there's all the different pieces of it. We like to think we can pull that all together. We can have that pathway to being a pro or being a top elite. We still don't even have a real definition of that. So definitely that's in our vision, is can we have these, especially festival type events. I think if we want people to travel, you need a destination. There has to be quite a bit to it. It needs to be rich and have, though, the quality, professional, good, well-organized race, or races, hopefully, as we kind of develop that there's different styles of racing and people really have the passions in different places. And acknowledge that there's the ultras, there's those specialty races. You live in Hawaii, where M to O is this amazing tradition. But things are always changing and flexing, and the beauty of our sport, the fact that it's so accessible and so adaptable, also makes it one of the biggest challenges, is because people keep shooting off in all these directions. I'm looking at your shirt right here, SUP, foil and wing, right?
For example, like now SUP downwind foiling, which to me is a part of SUP, is really taking off. But how are we going to marry that into the SUP sport? Of course, we are way too far ahead of our time here, and we don't know. We want to create a future.
Now, a lot of people aren't seeing US as a strength in SUP, but there's hundreds of races going on in our country.
With thousands of people, guys.
So there's actually thousands of racers doing stand-up paddling in the US. But question mark, who are they? Where are they going? What are they doing? Are they traveling? We know Europe is a big hub right now. But we've talked, I mean, the rich history where I am is amazing. Of course, we had Battle of the Paddle and Pacific Paddle Games and other things that really are needed to bring power and energy to the sport that we need. I think I mentioned to you, and I'm going to stop being Switzerland, which is funny because you're Swiss, but I have been in this sport in kind of positions with the SUP Industry Association where I had to always play the middle road, and that's kind of my personality. But I'm going to start an, in my opinion, little short piece and try to get discussion out of people, because we need more people talking about it, thinking about it, and helping us work on it, right?
And so last word, what's the next step with your organization that we're going to be looking for?
We are really looking at that series idea. I mean, right now, Euro Tour, touring around Europe, having that destination location, having a plan, letting people plan ahead of time where they're going, I think is essential. So we're looking at how to build a series. I think that's probably the biggest next step.
Very good idea, and I hope to A, write about it, and B, to see you guys in the next video.